Email design is overrated. Hear me out. Most brands focus too much on making sure their emails are beautiful, aesthetic, modern, etc. But they just completely overlook one single extremely important aspect of it, which is making sure their emails are high converting. In today's video, I'm gonna break down the main concepts and pillars that actually make an email design high converting, so that way you don't waste your cents and you make sure your emails are beautiful, but they also convert as many people as possible. I'm Nicholas. I've been running layout consulting for the last 4 years. We generate millions of dollars in email revenue per year for DTC brands, and I'm just here to share value. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Alright, so the first concept to keep in mind when it comes to creating high converting and beautiful design email designs is to keep your ATF above the fold section optimized. So what is the ATF above the fold section? The above the fold section is everything before the first scroll. So essentially it's the first part of the email design that people see actually when it comes to your email designs. In this case, for instance, for this brand is this section right here. So it's before scrolling down. That's the above the fold section. And you want to make sure like everything is super clear within the first 3 seconds, so people should be able to read and understand the angle on the offer within the first 3 seconds of looking at the email. That's the most important, I would say the most important concept when it comes to creating email designs that convert is, yes, you want to make sure they're beautiful, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the above the fold section is optimized. So on the above the fold section, you should have a header, subheader, and then CTA, as well as of course a hero image with again the offer angle very clear and straightforward, so people again should be able to read and understand what the email is going to be about within the first 3 seconds. So that's the first concept, just making sure your above default section is optimized. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This is probably the most important concept and just overall thing to keep in mind when it comes to creating high converting email design. So keep your ATF optimized. Now, second, use high quality imagery. Reason why is because great images equals great emails. You want to look professional and you want to generate more revenue because, of course, this is the first impression people get from your brand. So if you're using like low quality images, then that actually speaks volumes. And so of course, you make sure you showcase your products with high quality imagery, whether it is lifestyle or on white background, whatever it is. And this is the second concept to keep in mind when it comes to creating high converting email designs, okay? Now, moving on, we've got GIFs, okay, or GIFs, whatever. You want to make sure, because I mean, emails are very static by nature, right? It's like text, images, static images, etc. So you want to be sprinkling some animations to pop more once in a while. For instance, in this email right here, we've got a very simple animation of the product. It could be a product, it could be, for example, something like this, where you've got multiple things moving, right? The 50% just catches your attention, as well as some icons right here as well. It looks pretty good. It gives your emails a different vibe, and of course, again, it catches the attention and just overall looks really cool. Now, very important to just use them strategically. You don't want to overdo it. So use this from time to time, once in a while, or like just sprinkling some GIFs here and there, just to make sure like your email design looks cool and it just stands out from the crowd, if that makes sense. Now, fourth concept, and this is again one of the most important ones as well, is you want to make sure when you create your emails, you preview them with mobile, and you want to make sure your emails are optimized for mobile, so they're mobile friendly and they have a responsive layout as well. So very important to use a one column layout, meaning you're not using multiple columns, because email is very compact and you want to make sure people can read your stuff, right? Whether you're using static images, whether you're using HTML text, you want to make sure when you're creating an email, you preview that on the mobile. I know for whatever reason, let's say with Klaviyo, when you create an email, the main preview, the first one you see is desktop. So you tend to forget about mobile. But again, you want to make sure you preview it, and also you send it to your address on your phone. And before sending an email, always make sure to preview it on your phone as well, which is going to be more than 50%, more than 65% of people will actually read your emails on their phone. So again, you want to make sure it is optimized. Just like your landing pages, website, etc. You want to make sure your emails are also optimized for mobile. Okay. Now, you want to make sure, for example, like your fonts and overall everything is bigger. So for example, for headlines, you want to make sure your headlines are 22 pixels plus and your body copy is at least 18 pixels and above. Okay. Really important. And finally, And this actually ties back to the previous point about mobile. It's like you want to make sure your emails are simple. For whatever reason, people think like people will actually read your entire email. They will not. Like most people will only read the first section, ATF, the above default section, and that's it. Okay. So your email should be pretty simple. You don't want to cramp everything in one same email. Let's say, for example, you have one angle, that you have like one topic of your email, and then 5 subtopics. Instead of like giving it all away in one single email, you could have different emails, like 5 emails with a different subtopic of that topic, of that main topic, if that makes sense. That way, well, you have more email angles to utilize, but also you don't cramp a lot of information in one same email, because again, most people, we don't even read it. So avoid cluttered emails, as it is extremely annoying as a from a customer experience perspective, and people might click on the wrong link, which is that equals to a lost conversion. Okay, so use enough white space. Really important. You want to make sure your emails flow and you have enough white space, and you just don't cramp everything in one same place. Really important. Just keep it simple. Pretty much. That's it. Okay. Now, final one is you want to make sure you keep dark mode in mind. Again, a lot of people, if not most people, will actually read your emails with dark mode activated on their phones. So multiple things to keep in mind. One is you want to make sure you use transparent PNGs in the email. So when using a product image, for example, use a product image with a transparent background. Second thing, and this is when it comes to the logo, is you add a translucent outline to our text, transparent PNGs, like for example logos. As you can see here in this specific example, we can definitely see there's a translucent outline on the logo, and this is to make sure like when you have a dark mode activated, you can still see the logo in case it is dark, right? Because it will happen, and again, that's one of the main reasons why you want to make sure you preview your emails and you see how they look on dark mode on your phone, which is something we always do at the agency. Is before scheduling an email, we preview it with our actual phones just to make sure they actually look optimized. You'd be surprised how many times they look like crap, and you have to basically tweak some things here and there. Now, you can also, to avoid your emails looking bad when it comes to on dark mode, you could also utilize graphic-based emails, and that's it, instead of like using text. What do I mean by that? For example, in this example again, we can clearly see there's like 3 blocks of images. That's it. So this will not be converted into like dark mode anything. So you shouldn't have any problem when it comes to dark mode in this specific scenario, because we're only using graphics here. So I've seen many people online say that like using graphic-based only emails, that hurts deliverability. In my experience at the agency, after sending thousands of emails, we haven't really seen a huge difference when it comes to deliverability, whether we send graphic-based only emails or graphics plus HTML text. So we haven't seen any difference whatsoever, to be super honest with you. Of course, you can test it on your own and see what works, but in our experience, it doesn't make any difference. Now, from time to time, we will actually use HTML text. And so if that's the case, if you're using HTML text, there's a very good tip that we utilize all the time, is you can actually force a, let's say, darker background. So let's say, for example, we want to implement a timer here, and we want to make sure like the timer and the background of the timer is black, like in this email. So that way it just flows better with the email. So in that case, what you do is you essentially create a section here. Let me move myself. You put in a section, here, and then on the section you add a background image. You select the image, and then you can use a black background, for instance, right? In this case, I use that's an image. That's a dark image, as you can see here, right? So this would actually force the background to be black, no matter what happens on the dark mode side of things, or whatever, if you're using dark mode or not. And then here you can add your text, your timers, whatever it is. Of course, again, let's say we have white text here. I'm pretty sure if I send this to myself, the actual white text is gonna be black. And with dark mode, I'm not gonna be, because of the background is black, then black on black, I'm not gonna be able to see it. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, if you have any questions, just drop a comment below. But that's pretty much for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please drop a like and also a comment below, because I'm just getting started with this. We've been working with e-commerce brands for the last 4 years. I didn't really build my personal brand, but I'm trying to, so I have a lot of value to give to the community. And yeah, so with that being said, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.